Welcome back. The Johannesburg High Court last week found in favor of the family of Steve Biko and halted the auction of the autopsy report into the cause of his death. Should the Steele family, which was auctioneering the document, have been in possession of this document in the first place? My guest to discuss this is Professor Ames Dhai of the Steve Biko Centre for Bioethics at Wits University. Professor Dhai, welcome to the show. First of all, should anyone be selling these documents?
I think it's really wrong to be selling these documents. And I'd like to go back to the very first question you asked. Should the Steele family have been in possession of these documents in the first place? Now, when you look at how original Mrs. Steele got the documents, she was given the documents for safekeeping by the pathologist, Dr. Gluckman. Okay, and why did he give her the documents for safekeeping? It's because he was so concerned that his offices were bugged. He was concerned about being raided, and he was concerned that he was going to lose these documents. Okay, so he gave her these documents for safekeeping.
And what do these documents actually detail?
These documents detail the pathology reports, the post-mortem reports of Steve Biko, of Amit Timor, and remember, Dr. Gluckman was also pathologist for other detainees who had died in the struggle. So we do not know what else is lying in some archives somewhere with the siblings out there.
Who then, you say they were given to her for safekeeping. Who should they belong to then, these documents?
Obviously,
where should they be today?
Obviously, the documents contain information on Steve Biko and on Amit Timor. And this information is medical information.
So it's like me and my doctor, essentially.
When the patient is alive, the medical information belongs to the patient. When the patient is dead, the medical information will belong to the next of kin. So this should belong to the Biko family or the Amit Timor family.
But the Steele family's lawyer, Mr. Jeremy Clark, says, and I quote him, "This family is just auctioning a report that's been in the public domain for 37 years.
So if it's in the public domain, why would they be auctioning it? Anyone could get onto any internet and download that information. Why would they want to actually pay 100,000 for something in the public domain?
I've seen the word copy appear in newspaper reports about this. Are these original papers, or is this a copy? And if it's a copy, where's the original? If it's the original, why are they in their hands?
Well, Justice, I need to tell you, we need to go back to that website and let's see what's written on that website. So what we managed to see on the website is really confusing and misleading. And may I quote, "The Steve Biko Autopsy Report, Pretoria 1907, in original ruled paper covers, pale green pages, containing certificate from the relevant pathologist."
Let me stop you there. So I get the word original.
You have the word original there. You have certificate in terms of the Criminal Procedures Act of 1997 and the report of the medico-legal post-mortem, comma. Then we have this copy is not signed. So suddenly we have a copy stuck in. So what's original and what's a copy? So really, I think there's lots of unanswered questions. Then they go on to say, "The photographs referred to in the text are not present. However, the autopsy of Biko's brain has the cyclo-styled signature of Dr. N.S. Proctor on each page." What does that mean? The autopsy consists of 43 pages, a unique document of the struggle era of great historical importance that gives the full details of the autopsy/post-mortem.
Okay.
If it's a unique document, Is it really in the public domain? What do we mean by unique?
Is this document, if it's a copy, is it sitting anywhere in an archive at Wits University or in National Archive somewhere? Can I go find it if this is a copy that's being sold?
Well, in terms of Wits, the Wits Archives, the Wits Archives has actually lost its original documents.
Okay.
So
now
there's got to be a huge investigation into this whole issue.
Okay, now I want to ask you about the ethical issues involved here. I grew up with the name Ahmed Timol ringing in my head. My brother used to tell me about this person who mysteriously fell out of John Foster Square and died in 1972. Steve Biko, 1977. Again, mysteriously died in police custody. And these are the names that echo throughout our history. Surely these kind of documents should belong to to the family primarily, and if they so wish, to make them available to South Africans. Again, should anyone be selling these documents?
No. Ethically speaking, no. I think it goes against every moral grain. You know, I'm sure Steve and Ahmed Timol are actually, you know, squirming in their graves. I mean, it's totally against their dignity. It actually dehumanizes them in some way or another. It actually takes their information and makes it available to the highest bidder. So their information is for sale in the marketplace. Is this why Steve and Ahmed Timol died?
Is it legal for them to be doing this?
You know, it's at this moment in time, there isn't much in terms of the law, but I will be guided by our medical ethics. However, I want to go back to our National Health Act. Section 60 of the National Health Act states that human tissue cannot be sold for profit. Okay. So when you look at human tissue has within it data. Okay. So the same ought to apply to data belonging to human beings that's not in human tissue. Having said that, within the Health Professions Council, okay, it's very clear in terms of our medical ethics that data, medical records, belong to the patient, whether living or alive or dead.
Now, tell me here, what should happen? Because as you pointed out at the beginning, Dr. Dlakman was treating a lot of other patients. This is surely not the last we're hearing of this. What do you think should happen to protect, if such protection is needed, all these heroes of the struggle, all these patients of Dr. Dlakman's?
I think it's very important that as a matter of urgency, an investigation is conducted. I really think the Department of Health needs to come to the fore and start an urgent investigation on all Dr. Dlakman's post-mortem reports and try to find or trace the post-mortem reports.
It looks to me, when I first read the story, I thought, wow, these two brave men who fought for our struggle, for our freedom, seem to have been abused and killed, and then now they're being abused again.
Absolutely. And you know what hurts even more? What was Steve Biko's dream? You know, Steve Biko actually said to us, in time, what he wanted to see in South Africa was the greatest gift possible, a more human face to South Africa. And now we look at what? those siblings are doing in terms of auctioning his post-mortem results, even if they say it's a copy of his post-mortem results. Is this the more human face? You wonder where their human face actually lies.
Professor Ames Dhai, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Stay with us for the winner and loser of the week.